Hey guys, it's Jess here, the brand photographer and blogger at Shuruk Studios and the creator of the course, The Brand Photography Method. Today I'm going to share 5 tips that will improve your brand photos. So if you have been trying to take your own brand photos, or maybe you are also a photographer and working with clients and you're just not quite getting the results you want, these are 5 tips that might help you improve the quality. Maybe there's an area that you haven't thought of. So I'm gonna go over them with you. The first one is to invest in quality equipment. When I started photography, I used the Nikon D3100. I don't even think they make that anymore. It's like a different model now, but that camera was good. It's like an entry-level DSLR. It's really affordable. It's like, I don't know, I think it was like $300, $400 at the time, which is a pretty good price for like a professional camera. And it was good, but it really was not producing the results that I wanted that I saw everybody else capturing on Instagram and on Pinterest and online and all that. What really made a big difference for me is when I got a really good lens. So that kind of ties in. Like if you are using a DSLR camera, don't worry so much about what camera you're using, because it does make a bit of a difference, but really where you will notice the biggest difference in quality is with the lens that you use. I know a lot of photographers love prime lenses, and I used to be a big fan of prime lenses. Like I loved the 50mm, and now I use the 35, but I also just love my 24-70. I don't know. I mean, as long as you get a really good quality lens that the aperture goes wide enough that it gives you those nice, creamy, soft, blurred out backgrounds, and you know, I don't know, what other features that you want, I find that just will help you a lot, because an entry-level camera comes with a lens, but that lens is crap. I'm not gonna lie, it's not good. So if you are thinking about getting a camera, kind of consider like what camera and what lens combination you're gonna do. But something that I wouldn't have recommended in the past, but now I totally would say now, is a lot of phones now have amazing quality cameras. Like I have my phone right here. It's just the iPhone, I want to say 7. I don't even really know because I don't care. I've had it for over 2 years, so I should probably get a new one. But this, I don't think takes that great of photos. Like, okay, they're fine for like Insta stories and stuff, but not that great of quality. But the iPhone, like, is there a 9? I don't even know, but like the 10, 11, I don't even think there's a 10, I think it's the X. Wow, I really just don't know iPhone brands. Whatever, all the models I swear after my model was they're actually pretty good. And I know like the Android version or like the Google phone or something, I've seen people use that and I'm like, whoa, those photos turn out so well. So if you are like, I need to upgrade my phone anyways, because maybe yours is like really old like mine and I don't know, has like something wrong with it, then maybe just get a phone that has a really good camera and don't worry about getting a professional a DSLR camera and lens and all that stuff, because this is obviously going to be a lot easier to learn how to use as well, and you're still going to get the quality. So yeah, it just like really depends, like a lot of different things, like how often you're going to use it and what your budget is and all that. But yes, that is the first tip: invest in quality equipment. My second tip is to edit your photos. Some people, I think, they just want to like take a photo and they're like, oh, I'm just gonna post it as is, it looks good. And I used to do that when I started photography, like way back when, but now I'm like, oh my gosh, no, it looks so much better once you edit photos. And I use Lightroom for all of my editing. And something that makes your photos and your brand that much better is when you have a very like consistent, cohesive style. So something that people can recognize. So for me, I love my photos to look very vibrant and colorful and bright, and a little bit airy too, depending. So I usually have a very similar editing process. Like in Lightroom, I'm always like increasing the exposure. Contrast kind of depends, like sometimes I increase it, sometimes I decrease it. It depends really what I'm working with. And I'll increase the vibrancy and the saturation. And I mean a few other things. I'll have to do a whole separate tutorial to show you exactly what I do. But yeah, when you edit your photos, it's gonna like completely transform them, even if you just do like a little bit of tweaking here and there. Okay, my third tip to capture or to improve your brand photos is to capture an interesting composition. So a couple different tips I have with that. There's this thing called the rule of thirds. Maybe I'll put like a little grid right here so you can see what I mean by rule of thirds. And all that is you don't always want to capture the same composition. So you don't always want like your subject to be in the center of the frame, like dead on or whatever. It just gets very boring, very repetitive, and it's not that interesting. So something to just keep in mind is to remember like the rule of thirds. So maybe put whatever you're photographing in like half of the frame, or in like 1/3, or in like the bottom portion, or have like some space in other parts. But basically just try to like fill up different squares in that grid and always be changing it up. And another tip for composition is to kind of, you know, do a mix between like things that are like asymmetrical and symmetrical and like straight on or from an angle. There's like really so many different things you can do with composition. It's kind of hard to list everything, but I'll put a couple like example photos because these are both like shot from above. But for me to give just like some interest, some variation, one is a lot more symmetrical and simple and less busy to the eye. And what really stands out is the colors. And then the other photo is like less colors, it's like a lot more neutrals. But you can see it's like asymmetrical and there's like a lot more interest to it, a lot more shapes and sizes. But you know, there are some things that are similar about them, which is the angle from what it's shot, and like the editing is still very bright, very crisp, very I guess high contrast. But yeah, those are just some things that you can do, and that's just all with composition and how you're arranging what's in your shot. My fourth tip to improve your brand photos is to include yourself in the photos, which may feel a little bit uncomfortable if you're camera shy, like I totally used to be, and would like, no, I'm totally avoiding the camera. But you probably can tell from like Instagram or any social media platform, photos with people in them are gonna do better than photos without. So if you're really into even like architecture or landscapes or food photography, I know like the focus is on something different than a person, but if you maybe add in a person, even if it's just like their hands in the frame, or if they're really small standing in front of like a cool building or whatever it is, I just find it makes the photo so much more interesting and that much more engaging. And a plus to this is that I guarantee your audience wants to see more of you anyways. So whatever type of photos you're capturing, try to put yourself in them sometimes. Okay, my fifth and last tip to improve your brand photos is to practice, and practice lots. I've been doing photography for don't even know how many years, but I started when I was like 19. I'm now 26, going to be turning 27 soon. Well, in a couple months. So I mean, that's a while. It's like 7-8 years. And it took a lot of practice to get good at it, and now I find the learning curve is quicker. Like it's definitely not as hard, and I can pick up on things a lot faster. But just experiment, go out there, like put no pressure on yourself. Take a lot of photos that are just for you and not for business or for clients or for anything, just so you can play around with different settings, try out different editing techniques, and test out different lighting things, and I don't know, test out all the things. Practice until it becomes second nature, basically. So I hope you guys found those 5 tips helpful. And if you're wanting to learn more about brand photography, I have a free brand photography masterclass. It's 1 hour long, so it's like a lot more in depth than just a short YouTube video. But I teach things like brand identity, creative direction, what brand photography is and how it can help your business and your blog. I also go over how to create a really beautiful online presence once you have all of these gorgeous photos, and even just how to plan a shoot and like stay organized and like include all the appropriate details. So if you are interested in registering, I'm going to include the link down below in the description box. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you got, you know, some good value out of this and you start taking amazing photos for your brand. I can't wait to see. All right, thanks.